Hi, I'm going to start with you. Oh my God, adorable. 3 films in with Mia now. Even though you've worked together so much and you know how talented she is, can you tell me something she did on the Maxine set that made even you go like, I knew you were good, but I never realized you were capable of that?
Whoa. I don't know if it was never capable of. I don't know. I had pretty like high hopes in general. But I, like the opening audition scene, you know, that's a scene that was written to be, you know, specifically what it was. But that's easier said than done because not only, you know, do you have to do the scene as it's scripted, but you have to become emotional. Like it's a very particular thing, and we shot it a lot. You know, we shot it more than the monologue, but not because it was ever wrong. It worked every time. But I think Mia was really hungry to do that scene, and so we shot it from a lot of different angles, and I ended up just using one take of it because it was great. But every single time, she would get emotional at the same time, and she could go through that, and that was just a testament to her. But to your question though, like I just like at this point I was just like, well, she'll just do that. I mean, we did it for 8 minutes in the other movie. This is going to be no problem. But she's very unpredictable. So you never quite know what you're going to get, and that's kind of the thing from my perspective. It's trying to give her the space to do things and try to kind of wrangle it into the movie because like I think the fearlessness and the unpredictability is what I think people really like. Are drawn to in her performances. There's a lot of like truth to that.
Can you give me a specific example of a time when that unpredictability caught you off guard, it made it in the finished cut, and now everyone can see it?
I'm thinking of one that's not in the cut. I'm trying to think of one that's in the cut. There was one scene where she just broke something that was not in the cut. That's not why it's not in there. It has nothing to do with that. But no one knew that thing was going to break, and that was a little startling for people. But I'm trying to think if there's something that was like that I didn't know at all would happen. Usually that for her, or it's usually something more emotional than it is like specific like that. I mean, you know, she really punched Kevin Bacon pretty good, and she didn't hit him, but she went hard. We were a little nervous, you know. But no, it's more just like it's just like watching her and seeing the unpredictability of because the character is really hers. You know what I mean? I'm sort of along for the ride, and like I said, I'm trying to like steer the boat a little bit. But you know, she has such autonomy over Maxine at this point that I'm just sort of nudging it certain ways to say like it'd be great if we could get over here at this point, but I'm watching what she does and adapting to that.
She's something else, and you're always nudging in the right direction. I still can't believe we have this trilogy now. Elizabeth, I wanted to follow up on something we were talking about the other day. You had mentioned that it was so satisfying playing someone on the other side of the lens. So it was making me wonder, is there anything about playing a director that you think will reshape how you view that job and maybe how you collaborate with directors in the future?
Well, I'm very easy to work with, aren't I?
It's true, yes.
No, I got to play all the glamorized good bits of being a director, you know. So I have utmost respect for directors. I adore them. They become, if I'm lucky, they become close friends and mentors to me. I think they're incredible human beings. And when you find a good one, it is like a magical thing as an actor, because if you can work when you trust the person, then you're very happy. So.
Well, credit to you also, you never left that golf cart. If you ever wondered where Elizabeth was, just look for the golf cart, and she was there. She was like, this is where I'm supposed to be, I'm ready to go.
Actually, I've never been so timely ever as I was playing Liz Bender.
It's true.
I was pacing a lot, wasn't I?
Yeah, I know the struggle.
I was like, where is everyone?
Yeah, it's too real.
All of a sudden, I was like, I'm sorry, is she?
Yeah.
It's very like.
So we're getting a little method with this role. I see what's happening
No,
here.
it was just really, I really loved playing her. I loved that you wrote this like wonderfully unapologetically sort of honest person. She's a great part.
Leaps off the screen too. I love it. Halsey, you're getting like a big question that's going to have no simple answer, but I have to ask it because I think it's something you do really well in the movie. What is the key to taking a character who gets minimal screen time and making sure that she comes across like she is a whole person with history so that we care about what happens to her?
That is a really good question. I think I just tried to have a lot of sympathy for Tabby, you know? I think that she, and Ty and I talked about this a lot, you know, is that she just is, she's full of optimism and hope, but she's also not really sure what to do with herself to like make those dreams happen. And, you know, she kind of falls victim to this thing, and it's representative of, I think, of like another type of real violence, you know what I mean, for a lot of women in her position. And I just tried to have a lot of sympathy for her. And I remembered what it was like, you know, being in New Jersey and not having much money and not knowing, you know, what I was gonna do with my life, and having that, like, that little that she has of like, I just wish something good would happen to me, you know? And so I just tried to give her a sense of like real optimism that I hoped was, you know, palpable, I guess. And I also just tried to make her really scared when she was dying, so that you were like, oh, she's scared. Like this, she's really scared to die.
That's not an easy scene to do.
So
That is something else.
Like, oh, that sucks. Ty also did me an absolute service in that he keeps reminding you of Tabby through the film, you know, and shows you so many moments of her to remind you that, you know, she's a person and you should feel sad, you know, and that's all in his edit and his vision, and so super, super grateful for that. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Your edit, your vision, and casting all these roles perfectly. Seriously, big ensemble. The fact that everyone makes a big impression blows my mind. Like you, Lily. So I obviously have to ask about one very specific moment that I have a feeling is going to go on to be one of the most iconic moments of the movie. It's the silent scream when she recreates the Puritan scream for Maxine. I feel like I'm about to rattle off a million different questions, but I want to know everything about shooting that. Was it scripted exactly that way? How do you figure out the timing? How big to go with a beat like that?
You send 10 selfies to Ty of different versions of faces, and you go, which one do you like the best? No, he picked a picture of one of mine that I sent, and we made a head of it, digital head, which then, as you know, rolls. I think we knew that there was going to be this payoff at the end for the character, so Ty wanted to have that be instilled earlier in the film so that it does have that payoff. And I think this is a young actress who is so excited to be in Liz Bender's film. She comes from England, small kind of community there, into this big Hollywood world, and I think everything to her is so exciting and so big, and she's also a realist. And I don't know, I think the idea of having that silent scream be what is her, it's what people remember her for. Ultimately, it's the only real thing people will remember her for. I don't know. I wanted to have fun with it, and I think that the bigger, the more fun it was.
Very, very effective choice. I have to let you go. I'll wrap with this for the three of you, because obviously now I need you in more horror movies. If you had the opportunity to join the long-running iconic horror franchise of your choice, what would you pick and why?
Another Maxine.
I mean, I know the trailer says the final chapter of the X trilogy, but I'm with Lily on
I don't
that.
make the trailers. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'd love to do stuff with them again. It was fun. We hardly got to interact. I mean, I worked with Elizabeth, but I didn't get to work with Halsey.
Yeah.
So we're finally, like hanging out for the first time.
We're really sad.
I know. I'm like, I would have loved more of you.
Yeah. I will say, Lily, I have a really impressed upon me memory of, after having met you at the table read, I was just like, gosh, she's so nice, and she's just so wonderful. She's like such this light about you. And then seeing your head on a table outside of the trailer, just like the way that affected me, I was like, oh, like it felt awful. Like I was like, this is the severed head of a lovely person I just met. It was like really, I think that's
the sweetest thing that you've said to me.
In my eyes. Like, I was like, I don't want to see this.
But I'm
She's
okay.
lovely.
I'm fine.
I know, but it freaked me out.
The most brutal horror movies are always made by the kindest, most lovely people, all of you included. I must leave. I could talk about your movie all day. Congratulations. Thank you for your time.